Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you very much for joining me here. We have got an amazing one to cover here today. A lot of good stuff. Be sure to watch through to the end. We're going to start with some fundamentals, then kind of talk a little bit about Bitcoin dominance, what this means, as well as the CME gap that just got filled here, upwards of 35,200. So no surprise there. We do have a kind of somewhat of a stark reality here. We have an ascending type of pattern here, and this is not the best. And I'll explain more so about that here in a minute. So if you are new to the channel, not a financial advisor, love to teach people to trade. Hope you can learn something here today if you do want to become a better trader. Again, cryptocash.tech is a site. Link down below. We actually have a lot of new members coming over. Well, I wouldn't say the exact reason for this is, the market's doing better, of course, but with all of our trade signals, it's been fantastic. But mainly because we are actually setting a limit on our premium membership. So just bear that in mind. If you want to come on over sooner than later, obviously we got a lot of folks considering that. Quickly to note, we're going to look at some liquidation levels here today. And just a quick congratulations to our community members here. 45% from Algorand, took a nice little 55% from Audio. Yes, we took an injective trade. That was a short trade we took just before the market took off yesterday. That was a 24-hour 75% loss. Absolutely the way it goes. I like to mention that because you need to recognize that in trading, you absolutely take stop losses, okay? But I'm happy to hit a 75% stop loss than a 300% or some kind of crazy cross leverage one, okay? So please understand that's actually a very good thing. Got some older trades too closing as well, or just hitting their targets. A good old Matic trade there, 56%. Spot exchange there, Bitcoin 6%. And then what was it? We also got a good 31% here, Bitcoin 80%, and another 30 from ICP. So honestly, the list goes on, but it's really, it was basically a good day for us, regardless of how you look at it. Yeah, we lost a couple of shorts, but mainly took off on a lot of longs, so it was really awesome. So congrats to our community members for that. What we want to talk about too is just some fundamentals. So to start here, if you're not familiar with the reason why things went a little crazy yesterday, mainly because it was the ETF, I think it's IBTC. It was listed on an exchange here, or basically the DTCC website. When it was listed, the price went crazy. As you saw yesterday, it went from 30 to 35,000 almost instantly. We also saw here today the price actually starting to dip and pull back. You can see it on the smaller time frames here where the price is kind of yanking down here. The news came out where basically the DTT website removed that from the website. Okay, so again, nothing is official with the ETF. It's in progress still, but there's definitely some delays. It won't be here immediately. But no, that is a very positive reason why we saw the price action take off yesterday. More of a fundamental catalyst. Look at this, $2.35 billion in 15 minutes or less, increasing the price of Bitcoin by 10%. That is some significant volume. Like we saw some massive red candles in the past, and that was like 1 billion. Almost 2.5 billion. That is insane. Last but not least here, just to kind of touch on this as well. On our Twitter yesterday, I did mention that Bitcoin was on fire. Like it a rich test, 31,800. So I by no means expected 35,000. I don't think much people did. But I did mention though, if it does break that level, that resistance, we could see 35,000. Be mindful of whale shenanigans, okay? So again, these are just little things I send out on the daily here. Thanks again for the wonderful feedback I've been receiving from our community members regarding just how much they've been liking that. So thank you so much for mentioning that. Links down below if you want to join our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. That's all available on whichever medium works best for you. So let's go ahead and do this here. Let's jump into some back-end data. We'll talk about Bitcoin dominance and kind of the big picture and what's going on. So liquidation levels here. We got new liquidation levels occurring at about 35,900. So there's kind of some late shorts there, or possibly even early shorts, but most likely the late shorts entering the game. We've got some previous liquidation levels too. I mean, there's really this is funny. There's no short liquidation levels here on the chart whatsoever. Obviously, shorts are a thing, but there's really not much to note. Okay, so again, this whole chart kind of got wiped out. Any potential short in the market essentially got closed out. That goes for a lot of other coins. Again, make sure you stick around because we're going to talk about altcoin dominance and how that is affected by Bitcoin dominance being so high. I think it's important for you to know. So take a look here at the net longs. We can kind of see here. Let's go ahead and double check. This is basically our heat map, right? And this is telling us the liquidation levels for long positions. So we have some late longs here, right here at about 33,500. Previous longs are tentatively underwater, but not by much, at about 34,000. So you could say we have the most amount of longs hedged about 34,000. And of course, we got some fairly recent 34 threes, but the average I would say is about 34,000 even. So we can understand that generally most longs are at 34,000. Let's see where the shorts are at. We got some shorts pretty much at the same exact level. Most recent, we see 34,400. Those are in profit. Some late shorts down here at about 33,500. So again, try not to be either or, right? I got some questions yesterday from our community, specifically some new members asking, why didn't I see any trade signals when Bitcoin shut up? Well, I'm not one to catch a falling knife or to try to, just get in when the price is rallying. Okay. Now again, there's a lot of breakout traders out there. That's not my style, but I can tell you the breakout traders are typically the ones getting wrecked for the most part. Yeah, they had a good day yesterday, but majority of the time they're not going to be consistent. Again, there's nothing wrong with that. Different strokes for different folks, right? They capitalize on large gains every once in a while. To me personally, when the price is running like it did yesterday, you really just want to kind of take a break, let it calm down, and find a good entry. That's again more so my strategy. Take a look here. This is the last 7 days. Let's just quickly double check the 1 month time frame here too, because we do still have, and it's important to note, 26,400 at 25.8. There's still that range there of liquidation potential. So by no means are we in the clear because we broke above 30,000. It's very, very helpful, but it doesn't mean that we're just going to shoot to the moon from here. So please be careful FOMOing in. I think it's a very real thing. We're going to talk about that rising wedge pattern that we have on the daily, and I think it's important to recognize that that is a very real thing. Okay, so rising wedge, what's all that mean here? Well, for lack of better terms, there's not much to really note on the liquidation heat map here. I mean, if we look at the last 12 hours, you can obviously see that there's a tremendous amount of liquidation potential, at least, well, I wouldn't say tremendous. This is just a decent amount, right there at about 33,200. So that's a tentative support level just below the most recent low. Okay. So what I want to talk about here, I think is probably the most important thing, is to touch on Bitcoin dominance and what this means in the big picture. Okay. So you can agree with me that Bitcoin price is high, right? Okay. You can agree with me also that we can see Bitcoin dominance is up. It essentially is at its highest point in the last year and a half. Actually, correction, yeah, about a year and a half. In the last year and a half, this is the highest point we've ever seen in Bitcoin dominance. Okay, so it's a positive sign, it means we have more money in the market. Okay. Now, you do need to also recognize, too, though, that it could be potentially hazardous as well. And the main reason why is because we can see here Bitcoin dominance is up. Okay. Bitcoin price is up. Alts traditionally go down when that happens. Okay. Keep in mind, if Bitcoin price starts to drop and plummet towards 30,000, which is a potential reality, I'm not saying it's a firm reality, but potential, we could see a dump of altcoins. So either way you look at it, altcoins are going to probably become problematic right now unless Bitcoin price can stabilize. Okay. So just note that majority of profits are going to be taken from these altcoins. So I feel comfortable with a couple of shorts that we still have left open. We do have a short here for AGLD. What is it? Adventure Gold, I think it's called. And I think that might be the only one left. But simply put, I'm going to be more than happy to consider some shorts here in the near future because of that. Again, not a reason to take a short, but if it's overextended and Bitcoin does pull back even a little bit, we will see a correction from altcoins. All right, so that's kind of the preface there. I want to kind of tell you that. Furthermore, too, when it comes to CME futures, just to clarify this here, we did have this previous gap from back in May of 2022 that was just filled. That was a range about 34.5 to 35.2. What do you know? We had almost a perfect candle wick just above it to fill that level. CME gaps almost always get filled, like 96% probability. It's extremely high. So that does lead us to the reality here that there is potential for the price to drop another 40%, not instantly, but potentially in the near future. I would speculate maybe early next year, depending on how things work out, because November is typically a strong green month. CME gap at 20,000 could essentially get filled. So just be mindful, there's still that shadow of a doubt that we're not in the 100% clear yet. Okay. Furthermore, too, this is also important to recognize, we have this wedge here. Okay. And when you have a rising wedge pattern, if you're not familiar, rising wedge patterns do this, and then they inevitably break down. Okay? So to me, seeing this rising wedge pattern, it's fairly concerning because while it looks like a bullish continuation, it's very deceiving and it can break down. So it does likely imply that over the next few weeks, we could see the price come back down to retest this ascending trend and inevitably hit that 30,000 mark. And if we can hold that level, great. If not, we're going down. Okay. So that's just, again, some big picture stuff to kind of know. Hold that in your back pocket and just recognize that while this is all well and good, we've been here before. Every time we've seen this increase, look at this here, And let's go ahead and just copy these over here. Inevitably, they'll go up a little bit more and then down, okay? So we could very well see a correction that looks very similar to what we're seeing in the past. Again, these are all just previous time frames. These are different scenarios. Every situation is a little different. We didn't have a Bitcoin ETF on the horizon, which we do now. That's totally different, but it is still something to recognize, okay? So those are just some things there. Let's go ahead and quickly take a look at some of the chart stuff and call it a day here for you. So RSI, massively overextended, no surprise there. Is Bitcoin due for a correction? Yeah, it should have corrected a long time ago, but it continued, right? That's essentially how it goes when you have a tremendous amount of volume and volatility. Taking a look at the volume, you can see last 2 days have been just monstrous. Taking a look at the volume profile, let's quickly note how much volume is being accumulated at the current range. Not a whole heck of a lot. Okay, so we just got a ton of volume here at the 30 to 31,000 range, but not a lot of volume support in the upper 31 to 35 range. Okay, so just keep in mind, we very well will likely see a staggering effect within that range. I do feel like 30, 31,000 is a strong support now. Taking a look, of course, at some moving averages, we're going to be well above all three. Nothing different there. TD sequential does tell us we hit a 9, so we've had 9 days of bullish continuation plus 1. So we're 10 days into this continuation. Extremely overextended. Taking a look at the 4-hour, same scenario here as well. If we take a look at TD sequential, we can see we hit a 9 and 2 previous 9s prior to that. So likely, based on a technical standpoint, this shouldn't have happened. Yeah, but it did, and we're here now. All right, so congrats again to those who held on pretty well. I was happy to have added to my position at 31,000, as I recommend through my my postings there. But generally speaking, at this point, we want to talk a little bit about this potential retracement. Again, this isn't 100% guarantee, but if the price does pull back, it's really common to see 0.382 and 0.5. So that puts us at 31 to 30,000, almost exact even. It's right there where we have the most amount of volume. So keep in mind that will likely be a support, a good bouncing point for our next leg up. Okay. So to me, I would like to add to my position closer to between 30 to 31,000. I'm not going to do everything there because there's still a potential of something lower. Between now and then, I'm just going to continue to dollar cost average. I typically have through Coinbase, I have a weekly, just a weekly buy-in for Bitcoin. I'm constantly averaging my price up or down depending on where the market's at. Okay? I recommend you maybe consider doing something similar because it's extremely important to have something to rely on eventually, because 30,000 could be a thing of the past. We may never even see it again. You never truly know. All right, 4-hour, massively overextended. I think it's pretty much the common denominator here. Everything is overextended. We do have this ascending trend right here concurrent with the 20-day SMA, letting us know that we are right above that level. So that's something to kind of pay attention to. We do inevitably break down below that. We should see further downside. Take a look at the hourly. This is the last thing I want to touch on here would be the Ichimoku cloud. It's letting us know here if you have some profits, you want to consider taking them because we're getting close to the lagging span intersecting with the price action. So that's signal number 1 out of 3, letting you know that we're kind of coming to an end, this little uptrend, maybe discontinuing soon. My speculation is the price is going to pull back. So again, a short in the 35,000 range would make sense. So I don't really see us going much further unless there's some crazy fundamental stuff. The ETF gets approved instantly, which I don't see happening right away. Okay. All right. So those are some things. What are your thoughts? Comment below. Let me know exactly what you're thinking here. What do you feel is going to happen next with Bitcoin? Jump on over to our Discord, Telegram, or Twitter too. Help us grow those communities. Greatly appreciate that. Again, if you want to become a community member, that's free. There's no cost, obviously. But if you do want to become part of our premium group where you can share in my trade signals, have access to my private trading university videos, that's available for a limited time here coming up. So just bear in mind that I wouldn't say the door is closing, but as we get more members, we're making sure we limit the amount just so we have some more one-on-one attention with you guys. That was just a request from our community, and we try to listen here. So greatly appreciate y'all nonetheless. Either way, I hope you have a great rest of your day. We'll see you on the next video. Take good care of yourself. Thank you.